Should you apply to an honors college or program? Are the extra essays even worth it? What is an honors college or program anyways? For those of you who are new, my name is Sydney Montgomery and I'm the CEO of Montgomery Admissions Consulting, where we provide personalized 9th through 12th grade college counseling and law school admissions consulting. And today we are focused on honors colleges and honors programs. And I know this is important because when you are trying to decide how many supplemental essays you are writing this college season, one of the things you are probably thinking is, what if I just don't apply to this honors college or program? Then I don't have to write all these extra essays. And I am honestly very tired of writing extra essays, so maybe it's not worth applying to this honors college or program. Well, it can be really hard to figure out what the benefits even are of an honors college or program. And so when you're weighing the benefits of the college or program with the cons or the drawbacks of all the extra essays, it can seem really confusing. That is why today I want to break down the 10 top benefits of an honors college or program and why you should absolutely consider applying to one. But we'll also talk about who is best suited for an honors college or program. Okay, so those 10 benefits are: 1. Priority class registration at some schools. 2. Smaller classes. 3. Special housing or housing priority at some schools. 4. Having a smaller community within a larger school. 5. Being surrounded in a community of like-minded peers. 6. Extra research opportunities. 7. Sometimes better faculty or faculty that pay a little bit more attention. 8. Better advising resources. 9. Oftentimes scholarship money. And 10. Increased career opportunities, including a designation on your diploma. So let's talk about each one of those very briefly. The first one is priority class registration at some schools. And this goes hand in hand a little bit with smaller classes, but we'll get to that. So at some schools, registration for classes is based on seniority. Seniors might get to pick first, freshmen might get to pick last. That's just how life goes. But sometimes even within that, students that are in an honors college or honors program get to pick their classes before the rest of the students in their grade. Now, I keep saying honors college or honors program. What's the difference? An honors college is actually a separate college within a larger school. So you might have the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Engineering. If it's a big school, they might have all these separate colleges, and the honors college is kind of one of them that houses the honors program, which means that the honors college has a lot of resources because they have a kind of dedicated infrastructure to that program. Now, an honors program is what you might find at a smaller school if its school doesn't have necessarily different colleges. But they may have an honors program, and they honestly function very similar. It really just depends on the size of the school and the amount of resources that they have. But for our purposes today, they're almost interchangeable because a lot of these benefits will apply whether you're talking about an honors college at a big school or an honors program at a small liberal arts school. So getting to choose your classes first or getting priority registration for your classes in an honors college or program is huge because you don't want to be shut out of a class you really want to take, especially if it's a class that's maybe only offered every other year. Now, I remember, and Princeton does not have an honors college or honors program, but I remember that the class to get into your freshman year was Kitty Lit. It was children's literature with Professor William Gleason, who then became the chair of the English department and one of my great mentors. I love Professor Gleason. I took both children's literature and American literature with him, and I have to tell you that his class in children's literature is the reason why I became an English major. It completely changed my life. But I almost didn't get in. By the time freshmen got to register for classes, there were really only 9 spots left. I remember the ad drop happened at 7 a.m. I set my alarm. I have never clicked so fast in my life. And I texted my friend Joseph and I was like, "Did you get in?" And we both got in. And that moment really changed a lot because if I didn't get into children's literature that semester, he only taught it every other spring. And that meant that next time I took it, I would be a junior. Junior spring. Basically, almost out of here. Now, I told you, that class is what made me become an English major. I honestly don't know what would have happened if I hadn't gotten into children's literature. Maybe I wouldn't have become an English major. That is crazy. I ended up writing my thesis on Harry Potter and the Hunger Games and Outsiders, and that never would have happened either. I'm so grateful and thankful for that, but that's the importance of being able to get into classes that really pique your interest. And so for that reason, being able to have priority registration for classes isn't just something that I'm saying, like, oh, who really cares? Like, no, it can be a really big deal. And so that's a really big benefit of honors colleges and programs. The second benefit is those smaller class sizes. And this is really great because sometimes we don't always learn in a big lecture style class. Maybe you're someone who craves more seminars, or you're someone who craves the discussion based classes. That is when having those smaller classes where you can really dig deep into the material, where you can really investigate your thoughts, where you can learn from your peers, where you can feel like you have that access to your professors. If having high access to professors in small classes is important to you, then the fact that in honors colleges and programs you have this higher level of smaller classes and even sometimes more interesting classes, like they're classes that are set aside for students in these programs, that might be something that really appeals to you. That third point is that you might get priority housing and also maybe special housing. So there are a lot of schools where the honors college and honors program students are housed together. So you really do become this little community, and that's point number 4. They go together, right? If you're someone that is thinking, oh my God, Penn State is so big, the University of Maryland is so big, I can't imagine going to school with 40,000 people, then you might want to look at an honors college or program, because all of a sudden your world gets so much smaller. You get these kind of like Insta friends because you're taking all these specialized smaller classes together. You might be living together. You might be going on special trips or having special webinars or seminars together. And it's really great for making a big school feel small. This is also really important if you're concerned about housing, because not every college guarantees housing every 4 years. And sometimes they might for students in the honors college or program, however, or you just might get that priority housing. And so depending on the schools that you're looking at, that might also be a really big deal. So both the fact that you get that priority housing, but then also the fact that you're in this community that is now smaller. It's like a school within a school. Of course, you're still in the bigger school. You're still going to football games. You're still going to parties. You're still, interacting with all of the other people outside of the honors college or program. But it's nice to have a smaller home, especially as you transition in your freshman year and you're just getting to know the school. It's nice to not just be one in a sea of people if that's not your jam. Now, if that is your jam, then, jam on. But if it's not and you're looking for that smaller community, an honors college can definitely provide that. While we're on the topic of community, I want to go to point number 5, and that's a community of like-minded peers. Research says that your network is your net worth, right? And that who you surround yourself with is actually a better indicator of how successful or wealthy you're going to be than almost anything else. And so you want to be pushed by your peers if that's something that's important to you. In an honors college or program, you're going to be surrounded by people that are also striving to excel academically, that aren't just trying to take the easy way out. They're people that want to be pushed. They like academic rigor. They like being challenged. They like getting to the next level, and you guys will be pushing each other. And that's such a fantastic way to grow. Now, I told you that I'd talk a little bit about who is best suited for an honors college or program, so I want to kind of break here to talk to you a little bit about that. An honors college or program is not for everyone. And there's no shame in that. There's no judgment in that. Everyone has to do and go at their own pace and what they're looking for. For some people, they're going to college because they want to play sports. They're going to Division I sports. Sports is their thing. And yes, academics are important, but it's honestly not as important as sports. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's so many benefits to being a student athlete or an athlete student, right? And so for those students that are saying, college is good, academics are good, but I'm really here for the sports, or I'm really here for the dance. I'm really here for the performing arts. And academics are not my focus. then an honors college might not be for you. That's not to say that if you are a fantastic performing artist or student athlete that you can't be in an honors college. You will find lots of athletes and lots of dancers and performing artists and visual artists in honors colleges. But it really is a matter of how important are my academics to me at this moment. Like, where do they fall in my priority? For some of you, it's neck and neck, right? I love my sport. I might be a Division I athlete, but I also love my academics. Great. You want to be asking about the work-life balance, basically, and whether or not you can balance being in an honors college with being in that particular sport. But for some of you, if we're going to be honest, sports are here, school is here, and that's just the way it is, and that's okay, right? But maybe that means that an honors college where the focus is on students who are really putting academics first, if not first, tied for first, right? That who really want to prioritize academic rigor, that might be for them. Now, some of you, honestly, high school was hard. No shame in that, right? You're growing, you're developing as a scholar, as a student, and you don't really like to be pushed too much. A little bit of push, but too much push might overwhelm you. That's okay, right? If you're like, listen, like college, I'm already concerned. I am already nervous about the work of just college. Like, I am a little overwhelmed when I think about it because high school was hard. Maybe an honors college isn't for you, or at least not freshman year, because there are a lot of programs that actually allow you to apply to the honors college or program your sophomore year or at the end of your freshman year. And that might be a better path for you to investigate, because then you can kind of see how college is, and then you can assess, you know what, I have a handle on this. This is great. I'm ready for the next level. Or, you know what, I'm really just like trying to make it by. I'm still really struggling. Or like I'm handling it, but I'm like tired. I like really could not imagine any more work than what I have right now. Like I'm crushing it, but like I'm at my limit. Like my plate is full. Then you're like, you know what, the honors college or program is not for me right now. And that's okay. Right? There's no value-based judgment on whether you're in one of these programs or not. You're not a better person or a better student whether you're in them or not. You really have to go with where you're going to thrive. College is where you are going to become the best version of yourself. You're going to work towards it at least. You might not actually become it in those 4 years, but you're going to be on the path, right? And you should also have so much fun. You should have so much fun. College is not just about staying up till 3 a.m., writing papers and taking exams and being burnt out and stressed and busy and tired. I hear that a lot from students, and that's so sad, because college should be fun. You should be going out with friends. You should be having cookie study breaks. You should be going to games. You should be going to parties. You should be doing a lot of things. You should be making new memories, stargazing, whatever it is. You want to have time for those spontaneous moments in college. And so you don't want to work yourself to the point where you're completely burnt out and you're not enjoying any of that. So I really, want you to self-examine yourself and say, hey, is this a good time for me to apply to an honors college or program? Or maybe I should wait. Or maybe it's just not for me at all. And that's okay. But in an honors college, you're going to find a community of people that are really ready for that next level of academic rigor and really want to be pushed. And why do they want to be pushed, or how do they want to be pushed? Sometimes that push looks like extra research opportunities. So that might mean an honors thesis, or that might mean, certain study abroad opportunities. It might mean more seminars. It might mean independent research on top of your classes. But a lot of times students in honors college live and thrive for those extra research opportunities because they're diving deep into this intellectual question. They have a curiosity that hasn't been satisfied, and they love the opportunity to get to do sometimes even graduate level work at the undergraduate level and really start to hone in their expertise so that when they get to the senior year, when they're ready to graduate, they are super ready for that next step. They are prepared. They have thought deeply about issues. They've questioned things, and they love the academic exercise of it. If what I'm saying to you does not sound exciting, take that as a note, maybe, I don't know, not for me. And research doesn't have to involve data. I was an English major. When someone said, are you ready to do research? I was like, what you mean? But at Princeton, we had 2 independent papers in your junior year. And then, of course, I had my senior thesis. Everyone at Princeton writes a thesis. It's a graduation requirement, except for some engineers. And so, that is just a part that I knew was coming, right? And I was so concerned because I don't like data and science. But my research was different because I was an English major, so it involved a lot of reading of secondary sources and those sort of things, and really diving deep into the literature and to scholars' opinions and putting them in conversation with each other. As I said, I did my thesis on Harry Potter. It was very, very exciting. The English department would not send me to Harry Potter World for research, although I definitely asked. I think that it could have really enhanced my thesis, but sadly I lost this battle. When you have all of this research, sometimes you actually do need extra advising. So not just for the research, but also because of those smaller classes and specialized classes and the priority registration, and because honor students sometimes have a lot more going on academically or with their career paths, they do oftentimes get special advising or increased advising opportunities. They also sometimes get better faculty or faculty that maybe are more dedicated because they're not teaching the big classes where they have 300 students. There's some faculty that almost only teach in the honors college or program, so they're used to working with smaller groups of students. Or sometimes they are teaching those specialized classes or those more interesting classes. And so, that is something to consider as well. The other thing to consider is that kind of going into an honors program, especially if you get in for your freshman year, there's oftentimes scholarship money tied with that, right? So when you're thinking, should I apply to an honors college or not? If you have been a strong student, you've been taking those AP and IB or dual enrollment classes in high school, you feel ready, this could be a really great way to defray some of the costs of a college education, because college is expensive, y'all. And so, when you think about it, there are some honors colleges and programs that might come with a full ride scholarship or a half tuition scholarship or just very heavy merit offers because they want to attract the best and the brightest students to this honors college or honors program. A lot of times, big state universities will put a lot of money to attract their honors college or honors program students because they're trying to entice them to take the scholarship money and come to this big state school instead of going maybe to the more elite, prestigious private school that they may also have been able to get into because they are such a strong applicant in the college admission process. And so if you're someone who is a really high achiever, you've been working really hard, but you're like, hey, oh my goodness, I can go to college for free. I have an opportunity to get a fantastic education at a world-class institution, have this smaller community so it makes that big school seem so much smaller, and go for free. That's a fantastic offer. So as you're looking at different honors colleges and honors programs, I want you to be looking at the merit and scholarship offers that are tied to it as well. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you about is just sometimes being in an honors college or honors program does help when you are out there trying to get a job. It does give you an extra designation usually on your diploma. It shows employers that you did not take the easy way out, that you really pushed yourself. Oftentimes the research that you'll do, the honors thesis, will actually be the thing that helps you when you're trying to maybe go to graduate school or different higher levels of learning, because that will show that you're already ready to do graduate level research and writing. And so there's a lot of things that can come there, the benefits that come even after you've left a school from being in an honors college or program. So I know that was a lot that we covered. We talked about housing, we talked about classes, class sizes, choosing them, advisors. We talked about research, making a smaller community, a community of like-minded peers. We talked about scholarships and faculty, and we talked about, career opportunities. There are so many benefits to an honors college or program. Like I said, it's not for everyone. I do want you to know yourself. There is no judgment or shame if you're like, you know what, it's really not for me. But if you're a student who has consistently pushed themselves and excelled and you're ready for that, hopefully this video helped solidify your choice to apply to an honors college or program, and also makes you feel a little bit better about all those extra essays that you might have to write to get in one. I promise you they will be worth it. I hope you have a fantastic 4 years. If this video was helpful to you, share it with a friend. Make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on honors colleges and programs? How are you doing this application cycle? What are the questions you have? Don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. We would love to be part of your college application journey, and I will see you very, very soon.